This show is proud to partner with TrueTechTools.com. You can save 8% off many of the items at their site by using the Shop Talk discount code. Hello and welcome back to HVAC Shop Talk. My name is Zach Ciota, and my camera's slightly not quite better. I like that better. That's better. It's good to be back here, guys. Good to see you all here chatting away, chatting like there's no tomorrow. And I want to open the show talking about something that I think is very, very important in our lives as HVAC guys. HVAC guys with families. This is specifically for HVAC guys with families. Now, when you have a family, it's usually, if you're a guy, you have a wife. I know it's modern times, but typically it's a guy and a wife. And it is so important that if you're going into the HVAC field and you are either not yet married, maybe you acquire a wife during the, sounds like you have a mail order bride or something like that. So you send your postage to the Ukraine and she gets here, but you've already started your HVAC career, then I think it's very, very important you are upfront, honest, communicating well with that wife, girlfriend, whatever, about what an HVAC career entails. Because an HVAC career, depending on what you're going to do with it, it can be very time-consuming, very labor-intensive. That's what mechanics say whenever your stuff's going to cost a lot. The part was only $30, but it was very labor-intensive. That means your $30 part's going to be $500. That's how people think when we come to their houses, too, by the way. It's like, I looked up the blower motor, and for some reason now that the customer has a northern accent, and then before my mechanic did, but the customer now has a northern accent, which I like doing, so I'm just going to continue that. So he says, I looked up this blower motor, and it only cost $100, but you're charging me $250? What's the deal? We get that all the time. That's neither here nor there, but it's just funny because I often think of mechanics how our customers think of me. I don't know why that is. But that's just what I do. I'm always like, he's going to charge me 5 times more than he has to. I'm going to take it to the shade tree mechanic. He says he can get the part, but he's got to wait for, it to fall out of another truck. Come on. Where's that truck? We'll just take it. Whatever. It's funny. So anyway, if you, in all honesty, if you have a girlfriend that's going to become your wife, if you have just acquire a girlfriend in the course of an HVAC career, it is very important to communicate with them about what an HVAC career is, because it is extremely time consuming. The hours are excessive, and a lot of times this is for service techs, but installers get into this too. Whenever you get into the dog days of summer, especially as far as around here, you're going to have your installers working weekends, working late in the day, sometimes doing, forget what Ted calls this, like a double, triple-double or something like that. Whatever you do more than one install a day, there's a name like he gave it. I forget what it was. But if you're doing double-doubles, triple-doubles, or maybe even the very rare quadra-double, if you do a quadra-double, my hat is off to you. And if they're full systems, you're doing something wrong. I mean, come on. You're pulling that vacuum down to 500 microns. There's no compromise in summer, guys. You can't pull it down to 1,700 microns just because it's summer. All right? I know all of you out there are like, you've compromised your virtues before pulling your vacuums to like 1,000. It's like, it's good enough, man. It's good enough, man. We got 5 more jobs. We got to pull a quadruple-double today, man. It's not an excuse, bro. But I have used that excuse myself. But it's not permitted. Even though I've done it, you shouldn't do it. So, do as I say, not as I do. It's my fathering technique that I use as well. Do as I say, not as I do. Meanwhile, when I was the age of my children, I was already drinking heavily. I hope they're not watching this, okay? because it was a mistake. If they are watching it, it was a mistake. But when you get a girlfriend or you get a wife and you have not communicated with her, and all of a sudden you're out till 10 o'clock all summer long, you're out on Sundays, you're out on Saturdays, it can cause a really big problem in your life. And that lack of communication is going to cause you a lot of negative interaction. That is the lightest way to say that. Do you like sleeping on the couch? Do you like your wife saying, I'm going to my sister's house? Do you like your wife saying, I'm taking the kids? You're never even around. You don't even remember their birthdays, Brian. That's not specific. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. You guys don't know what I mean anyway, probably. But you will get into a world of hurt and trouble and heartache if you don't communicate that properly. And you have to make sure you balance as well as you can, because sometimes it's out of your control. And you have to realize that your career goals are going to impact how your life is played out in the long run and how your children and wife perceive you and interact with you. Point being, a lot of guys I know love being service techs. Being a service tech is fun. Being a service tech is interesting. You go to new places all the time. You see new things. It's constantly evolving. So it's a fun career. But if you choose that as your career and you have no greater aspiration, then you are signing up for a world of hurt if you have a family. Because as time goes by, I think it should be the goal, or your goal personally, to find yourself in a spot where you have more time, making more money with more free time. Get higher up, become a manager, do whatever, so you can then have either the leverage or the ability to say, all right, I'm working these hours. This is what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to head home. I know my family has X amount of time with me, because as a service tech, you don't have the leverage for that. You can't go in there and say, well, I'm not working these hours. So, all right, we'll go work for a different company then. And you're like, okay, then what hours did you say? You can't really do that. But once you move farther along and you have seniority, you can make those sort of decisions, and people will listen to you because you've earned that right, and you become more efficient, and you can do a job, and you don't have to work till 10 p.m. at night. But if you choose to stay a service tech your entire life, or like me before, a one-man company, you are not going to have that luxury ever. It's an illusion. One-man company is an illusion. It's not freedom. It's like the anti-freedom. You think it's freedom, but it's a prison of your own design. Instead of being put in somebody else's constrict, instead of putting in somebody else's prison or jail, you are actually building your own jail cell to live in. And the only comfort you have is that you get to live in a jail cell that you built yourself. And then you realize, hey, that's not a comfort. That's awful. That's the same thing, except for the illusion that I'm free because I did it myself. If you are a one-man show, that's how it's going to be. You can move past it to a certain degree. If you build a large enough clientele, you can have times you work. If you build enough trust with people, they will work with you more than someone you just met. Example being, somebody calls you on the phone, says, I have a baby and an elderly person, which is always the case. Everyone has babies and elderly people clogging up the entire square footage of their home. All you can see in most customers' homes are babies. And when you finally get past them, it's nothing but the elderly. And all those elderly are in stage 4 of some disease. So you have to get there as soon as possible. And if you can't come, we're going to call somebody else. That's what it is. It's always, wait, we're going to have to call somebody else. We really wanted to give you money. Do you not like money? And then you're like, as a young business owner, well, yeah, I don't have any money. I do like it. So you go out to the call because you want that money, because you got, half a tank of gas. And after that, life's going to be a mystery. So you go out to the call and you work on the unit because you have to. But as you progress and build up trust, you have a client base that when they call you, say, all right, well, I can come out at 8 a.m. in the morning. They're not going to read you a long story, for the most part, about how their life is horrible until you get there. They're going to work with you because you have built up a client base with trust. And even if they give you some pushback, they're not going to be inclined to say, I'm calling somebody else, because you have built up that relationship. And even though they may lose comfort in the short run by sticking with you, they trust you. So they don't have to worry about some other guy they don't know coming inside and, changing all their filters and unplugging all the wires and trying to trick them and steal them, like Dateline. Dateline doesn't help. Because if you watch some of the Dateline specials, and there's one a local station did, it's on YouTube that I've watched like twice. It's like 6 guys came in, and like all 6 guys screwed the people over. Every single one of them. It's like, come on, is there not like one guy that's like a legit, honest, happy guy? That's nuts. All 6 of them. So it's not building much faith in our industry. And this is what people are watching. So when they think of us, this is what they think of. So remember that when you're out there in the field. And we'll talk about that when I come back. We have a new sponsor at HVAC Shop Talk, Beckett. A lot of you guys know Beckett from their condensate pumps. They do make a mean condensate pump. We just did a video on those as well. There'll be more on that going forward. We're going to test them a little bit. We're going to see how they perform with a high lift. And I just have a few tests I'd like to run just in general to see how condensate pumps react. But Beckett makes more than just condensate pumps. Overflow safety switches, submersible parts washer pumps. I've never even heard of that. Condensate evaporator pans. But their condensate pumps have a wide range. They know what they're talking about. They make a quality pump. You can tell. When you look at a condensate pump and you can see the features that are left off, you can see the build quality issues. You don't have that with Beckett. Beckett knows what they're doing. They make a quality product with you in mind. You can find out more at Beckett. That's BECKETTUS.com/product-category/condensate-pumps. That is a mouthful right there. We'll put a link in the description because there's no way that you remembered that. We were talking about Company Cam, and here they are. The only app every contractor needs. You snap pictures. You're saved in a company feed. Your whole company is plugged in and know what's going on each job site. The boss man knows what his guys are doing. The guys know what each other are doing. You don't have project managers disconnected from their crews. Everybody's put together. You can store the photos. You sync them. You can share them. You cover your butt. And you stay plugged into each other. And it works with Jobber. So there's 2 sponsors right here that work together to help make your company a better company and give you back some of your life so you can spend time with your family, your friends, your dog, your gerbil, whatever. CompanyCam.com, GetJobber.com/Shop Talk. Jobber, you can use the link GetJobber.com/Shop Talk to get a special discount on their services. And just take a look at this. This is a Jobber website for those of you who are looking here. And so just take a look at this. We have the different features of Jobber. We have a client manager, scheduling and dispatching, invoicing and follow-ups, a mobile app, online booking, client hub, customer communications, job forms, reporting, credit card processing, email and postcard marketing, quoting, and follow-ups. They do a lot of stuff for your company, and they actually work with another sponsor of this show, Company Cam, which we'll talk about in just a second. For people in business, you give up so much of your time that you could be spending with your family, with your friends, or just having a good time or decompressing is taken up by all of these tasks which go back to your business. Jobber helps take some of that burden off of your shoulders. If you're a business owner, if you're an aspiring business owner, investigate this. If you're in business, check it out. GetJobber.com/Shop Talk. You've had a bad day. Life is going poorly. You know, that wife you misinformed about your career, she's now very angry at you and texting you every few minutes to make sure that you remember that she doesn't like you. And if you ever break away for a happy thought or a moment of peace, she wants to make sure she steps on that and crushes it. So that is what you've been dealing with. So when you go to a customer's home and they have just freshly watched the Chris Hansen To Catch a Bad HVAC Guy's promo show or whatever, remember that. Remember that you leave your problems outside. Leave your problems outside. It takes training emotionally. It takes training of the legit kind of HVAC training to do this, because you have to just turn that stuff off, and you might be justified in having a bad day. That's the thing. That a lot of people think they're justified in doing something by what has happened to them. Like, I went through a hard thing, so I'm going to be mean to everybody. Well, the news is that you're not justified in doing any of that crap. You just need to do your job and shut up. That's like the simple way. That's a dad way to put it. Just do your job and shut up, which is what you're hired to do. You're not hired to drag in all your baggage and cause issues. You're hired to get in there and do a job. So you got to do your job. You got to separate that stuff out. Now, I know when you're dealing with children, you're dealing with wives and wives out there in the field, dealing with husbands, they can make that very difficult on you. But something being very difficult doesn't give you any excuse still. You still got to go out there and do your job. And let me tell you, I struggle with that quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure I failed at that quite a bit because we dealt with a lot of, especially medical stuff, just kind of weighing me down. It's like all this stuff's happening to me. This is just a bunch of crap. And here this person has a Mercedes and a nice boat, and I just hate them already. I just hate them because they look happy. And if I see happiness, I'm going to destroy it. You get that mentality sometimes? I think all of us do. I remember watching Fight Club, which is an awesome movie. I just love the movie Fight Club. It's fantastic. I'm not gonna spoil it for those of you who haven't seen that 20-some-year-old movie. But Edward Norton is the protagonist, if you want to have one, of this movie. And he's just beating this guy up as part of their fight club. And they're like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do it? I think he beat up Jared Leto, actually. And he looks back at Brad Pitt, and he says, I wanted to destroy something beautiful. And that's what people feel like sometimes. And that's the sort of thing you got to stick down in your gut. I told my son one time, I was like, you need to be a man and just put your feelings away like men do. Because as much as people go and say, hey, you need to talk about everything, that isn't actually the case. Because sometimes you just have to not talk and get the job done. I know it's counterintuitive. All these people, especially nowadays, are like, you need to explore your feelings and talk about things and just get it all out there in the open. Well, sometimes you need to shut up and just do what you got to do. I mean, that's just the simple truth. That's what you got to do. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but we all know that. Sometimes you can't take that stuff with you. You got to just bottle it up. You want to talk about therapists? Save it for your therapist or whatever. Save it for Fraser Crane. Whenever you get into the office later, you can tell him about it. That would be perfect. You can tell because he's listening. Fraser's listening. Fraser's not that good either. You ever heard personal stuff on him? He's done some bad stuff too. Very relatable. All right, let's take a look at some tools real quick. That'll be kind of fun. Well, it appears we have some brand new stuff from Fieldpiece. The Cat 45 combustion analyzer is one of them. I know there's more than one. $999. Man, I'm so glad it's not $1,000. If it was $1,000, I'd be like, that's too much, man. But $999, that's fine. That'll fit into the budget. And I don't know what, starting at $91 a month with Affirm, I think you can actually get these little, and I've noticed this lately as a little sidebar. There's all these services that will give you credit for buying things, like small amounts of credit. My wife has told me about these things, and I guess Affirm is very similar to that. Like we have Affirm, there's Sezzle, there's Klarna, there's all these services that will help you buy things. So just a cautionary tale, guys, if you don't have the money, using those services may come back to haunt you. So if you want to spread out a cost and you could purchase it, that's one thing. But if you don't have any money and you're just using it to get something, it may not be beneficial. So, I mean, weigh whether you need something or not. If you can get into a new part of the industry, like testing a certain thing, like say you want to do combustion testing, your business has to be able to do it to compete. Maybe you're up against a wall. Okay, I get that. I understand that. If you can get it back through revenue, I understand that. But still, it's a dangerous tightrope. One that I'm very experienced at falling off of. So that's a cautionary tale from your buddy Zach. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Fieldpiece CAT 45 combustion analyzer. Sweet Mary Mother. Let's see this thing. So some, I guess you can put in jobs here. It has a little job screen, a little on-off button, and let me just go through here. We have a video from YouTube. I don't think we can watch that or YouTube will get mad at us. Looks like there are some, well, that's not even the same picture right there. Look at that. Looks like there's some magnets on the back of this thing. I don't know why it's showing us the wrong picture. There's the magnets right there. So we got some magnets. It looks like, I'm just going to speculate that those are magnets. And let's see, a little diagram here. Sensing port, say that 10 times over. gas inlet. I just want to say flue gas for some reason. Flue gas inlet, temperature sensor, pressure probe, threaded probe cone lock. That sounds fun. It has a touch screen. I think it's like 5.5-inch touch screen, so that's pretty good. 4 magnetic mounts. I was right there. Got a water trap inline in the hose there. USB-C charging port, flue gas exhaust, permanent probe connection. Very nice. Let's see. There's a guy in a picture using it. So you know it works because there's a guy using it. And if you notice, that guy doesn't have a Fieldpiece shirt on. He's got like a company shirt. So he's not from Fieldpiece. So that's legit right there. Okay, let's see. Description. The Fieldpiece CAT45 combustion analyzer provides a hassle-free. See, that's what you get right there. Hassle-free solution for technicians to get the job done quickly, easily, and safely while improving system efficiency. Accurate sensors of O2, CO, pressure, and temperature, along with powerful trending. All right, so you can do trending. Provide key insight into equipment performance. Sensor Vault technology. I just love the names people come up with. This is including Sensor Vault technology. Seals to prolong sensor life. A large, high-contrast 5.5-inch touchscreen display helps you easily view measurements. Save your customer data with dedicated fields for client information and create trend reports for advanced diagnosis. Oh, trend reports. Say it again. Key features and benefits. Okay, accurately measure O2, CO, CO2 draft pressure. All right, that's good. Because that first analyzer from Fieldpiece, like the SOX, that was useless. Honestly speaking, as an owner of the device, there's no point in owning it. This one looks much better than that one. I just want to say that. Lower cost of ownership with 4-year sensor warranty. Large 5.5-inch touchscreen display with one-touch power on. Ooh. Field replaceable sensors to maximize uptime. Patent-pending Sensor Vault technology prolongs sensor life. Connect with JobLink system app, so it connects with their app with the 1,000-foot wireless range. I don't know if you'd really need that for a combustion analyzer, but that's pretty good. That's pretty nice. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. Do you really need a 1,000-foot range with a combustion analyzer? Maybe with like a refrigerant gauges and stuff, maybe, but not combustion analyzer. But it's nice to have. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. USB-C chargeable, which is good. USB-C is the wave of the future until we get USB-D or USB-E. Or this is probably already out there, actually. 1-year manufacturer device warranty and 4-year manufacturer sensor warranty. So, you know, your sensor is going to last 4 years, at least. All right, here's breakthrough innovation. We don't need that. Blah, blah, blah. That's just the cell stuff. Let's look at the specs here. Probe size, battery type 3.7 volts DC nominal, 6,400 milliamp hour, non-replaceable. So, non-replaceable battery. So, if you want to replace the battery, if it goes bad, it's not replaceable. So, shut up. Battery life, 7 hours typical. Pump running 80% of the time. I think that's pretty good. Charge time, 7 hours. Well, that's a long time. Less than 7 hours typical. 5 volts, 2 amps DC power. Power adapter not included. Man, you can't include a power adapter with a $1,000 tool. Gosh, the power adapter is just going to cost us too much. Okay. Memory, 1,000 jobs. Well, that'll do me just fine. Warm-up time is 45 seconds, 90 seconds near freezing. That's not too bad. I mean, that's normal. The weight is 39.5 ounces or 1,100 grams with a probe. That's not bad either. Fuel types, natural gas, propane, or propane, as they say in France. Oil number 2, oil number 6, biofuel, coal town gas, coking oven gas. See, that's COKING podcast, people. Coking oven gas. KOKS, or Cox, I guess. Custom times 3. I'm sorry, that's just weird. Manufacturer warranty we already went over. JobLink system minimum is Bluetooth 4.0 devices running iOS 7.1 or Android KitKat 4.4. I think KitKat was a while back, wasn't it? So that would be good. You guys with the track phones may have to upgrade. I'm just kidding. You guys keep those things. I mean, murderers got to use something. All right, let's see. So the testing parameters, the range for stack temperature goes from 32 to 752. So that's going to be like the oil furnace upper limit. Oxygen O2, 0 to 21% volume. If you have more than 21%, I guess there's some kind of weird oxygen excess in your atmosphere. Carbon monoxide CO, 0 to 4,000 parts per million. Draft pressure is 0 to plus or minus zero point 0.8 inches of water column. CO air free, 0 to 4,000. CO2, 0 to CO2 max volume percentage. I don't even know what that means. Excess air, 0 to 999%. Efficiency, 0 to 100%. QA. I don't know what QA is. Now I feel stupid. It's a small Q and a large A. One of you guys out there help me out. One of you smart people help me out. Dew point, 32 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Primary air temp, 32 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. If your primary air is 200 degrees, I don't think you ought to be in the testing area. Ambient CO, 0 to 200 parts per million. All right. And customers typically bought... Okay, this is weird. The customers also bought AccuTools Blue Flame combustion analyzer when they bought this. That's weird. Or Testo 300. That's a lot of money in your checkout cart, isn't it, guys? That's a lot. I know there's more of these combustion analyzers. I realize that, but I'm not going to go over the other one now. I know there's at least one, but I thought we should take a look at it since it's a new product from Fieldpiece, and everybody's like, Fieldpiece, rah, spoon bah. They really like Fieldpiece, and Fieldpiece is good. And, let me show you this before we go on here. The SOX3, that's the one I was talking about. You need to throw that one in a dumpster and put that dumpster in a larger dumpster. Let me see what it says here. Oh, because it doesn't check CO, as I recall. Let me see if it says anything about that in here. Combustion checker with auto pump. Let's see what it says it is. The SOX3, the SOX3 combustion check, is a great tool to easily tune furnaces when a full combustion analysis is necessary. All right, that line is telling you that it's not going to do the job. Designed specifically for HVAC pros, the SOX3 provides all the essential measurements. No, it doesn't. Needed to tune most combustion equipment. It directly measures percentage O2 and flue temperature and calculates CO2 excess air and combustion efficiency. Like all Fieldpiece products, the SOX3 combustion check tool was designed to help HVAC professionals do more with their tools. So it doesn't do CO, which makes it a paperweight. What a nice, expensive paperweight that is. But the good news is Fieldpiece realized it had paperweight status and decided to make another one. And the next one is probably going to be great, guys. I'm just going to let you know. It'll probably be great. So that's a good thing. Fieldpiece is coming out with a new combustion analyzer. It's going to be good. I mean, I make fun of this last one because it deserves to be made fun of because it didn't do any useful stuff. And why would you pay $400 and some for something that doesn't do anything useful? You would not. But now you can pay $1,000 for something that is useful. And most of these combustion analyzers, about $1,000 anyway. It's touchscreen. It's got a lot of nice features. So that's a good thing. All right. Take a little break and I'll come back to wrap this thing up, guys. Now, EWC has been a partner of this show for the last 5 years, on and off. And they are the best forced air zoning company that I know of. EWC has quality products, their dampers, their control boards. They've been doing this stuff for a long time. They know what they're doing. Trey's been on the show before. It's been several years since Trey was on the show, but those are the type guys that they have working for them. Sharp guys. When you call their tech support, guess what? You talk to a human being, and that human being also knows his butt from a hole in the ground. And that is Southern talk for he knows what he's doing. They have all the things a contractor needs for forced air zoning. They have top-of-the-line zone panels, from zone panels that work with communicating systems all the way down to more basic panels for every application and every budget. EWC also carries thermostats. They have wireless thermostats, Wi-Fi thermostats, programmable, non-programmable, and everything you would expect a thermostat to be. And don't forget their app. EWC Controls has their own mobile app that's extremely helpful. And of course, you can find out more at ewccontrols.com or email info@ewccontrols.com. So Navac's been a partner with this show for a long time as well. And the new break-free power tube expander, the NT11L, is now on the market. I have it in my hands here at the shop. I released a video on it. You can find out more there on the YouTube. If you're not already subscribed, please go do that. If you have any questions about this product, I'm here for you guys. If there's something you want to know, I will find out. I will test it, and I will let you know. I tried to find out several things about the product. We measure the piping size before and after the expansion. We time the expansion. It's a cool tool. I really enjoyed it, and they have a ton of great stuff coming out of Navac. Battery powered. I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if I said that. It's a battery powered tool that goes along with their battery powered flaring tool, battery powered vacuum pumps. As you can see, they are breaking free from cords. They're also taking things that were not powered and making them powered just to make your life easier. You can find out more at navacglobal.com. Let's take a look-see here and see what kind of new products are coming out from Yellow Jacket. You guys have seen me use pretty much all of these so far. The Y-Jack Mano wireless dual-port manometer. Guys, been waiting for this thing for so long. You can have your differential static pressure to check your airflow on startup. It's just awesome, and their probes are so good. I enjoy using them so much. The Turbo Recover recovery machine, it recovered, as the kids would say, like butter. It was easy, didn't have any overheating issues. It worked beautifully. It is a DC recovery machine, a brushless motor, cutting edge stuff, and Yellow Jacket makes sure that you have quality stuff every time. The Y-Jack charging and air kit, a charging and evac kit, all the stuff you need, great range, great quality. Just what you would expect from Yellow Jacket. In the final section of this show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, I want to talk about something we get into, which is we form an opinion on something based on prevailing sentiment, based on what other people say. And it's not always the way that we should analyze a situation, a product, whatever. Like Fieldpiece, we love Fieldpiece. But the other combustion analyzer, that first one, it was no good. And if you would have purchased it, you would have been disappointed in it because it doesn't do the things a combustion analyzer needs to do. But because it's Fieldpiece, we assume it's going to be good because almost every one of their products is good. I think very highly of Fieldpiece, but this particular product did not meet expectation. So in the world, when you analyze a situation, you analyze people, you analyze things, products, you have to remember to take it from zero. Build your own opinion of them. Check things out and look for yourself. We always argue about which air conditioner is the best. And there's a lot of who cares to that. Who cares? Look into it. If you really are concerned about it, look into it. What's the service access like? How thick is the metal on those panels? What kind of compressor do they put in the center? A lot can be told from the compressor in the center of the system. What did they choose to put there? Is it a Copeland scroll or is it a Zhang Chi spinner rhubarb? Is that a real thing? If that's a real thing, I just buy it just to have it, probably. But you guys know what I'm saying. Is it a no-name compressor that's just black? Has no tags or anything on it? Says do not send for warranty written in big letters or something? I don't know. But you guys know what I mean. You can see cheap parts to a system and it's like a red flag. But everywhere across the internet, you're going to have guys going, man, I really like fill in the blank. Fill in the blank's the best, but fill in the blank is the worst. And then another guy goes, fill in the blank's the worst. No, they're the best, and fill in the blank's the worst. It happens all the time. Build your own opinion of stuff. Don't be so quick in spouting off your opinion on everything. Try to soak stuff in. Do a little bit more listening and less talking. Recently, I tested, because I have another channel called Zach's Tool Shop, I tested Sawzall blades, and you guys might recognize this one right here. Let me see if I can focus it in. Diablo. Everybody likes Diablo. Everybody says it's the best blade. I hear guys all the time because each section of the internet has the exact same conversation in it. It's like for HVAC guys, it's, which air conditioner is the best? It's fill in the blank. For power tool guys, it's which blade is the best? It's fill in the blank. Oh, the other one, fill in the blank, is garbage. So everybody loves Diablo. So I tested these, and I released a video on it. I tested Diablo, DeWalt, let's see, Lennox and Craftsman. These are 14 to 18 tooth metal cutting blades. So I used them to cut metal channel. I used them to cut unistrut, and I compared all four of them. And the DeWalt, it did good. DeWalt did good. Craftsman did good. Lennox was the best. I've used Lennox a lot of times in the HVAC field. We use a lot of Lennox products, hole saws. I'm trying to think of all the different stuff, but there's a lot of different things we use Lennox for. And I think they actually made snips too that were decent, if I remember correctly. May or may not. But Lennox makes some good stuff. Diablo came in last. Diablo did the worst job. It took so much longer to make the cuts than all the other blades, even the Craftsman, even the DeWalt. And you have to imagine these power tool brand blades are not going to be the best. You figure someone who makes blades specifically is going to be the best. But through analysis and testing them out, I realized that's not the case. It's just not the case. Diablo fell short. I don't think they're going to fall short in every category, but they did in this particular one. So my advice to you guys is don't listen to what everybody tells you about something. Figure it out for yourself. Test it out, and try not to have it in your mind what it's going to be before you get started, because that's a huge problem. Because having a thought in your mind or having all these voices in your head telling you about something, it's going to skew your perception of it. If you go into a situation and you look at something like this blade and you test it and it fails and you have no preconceived notion about it, you're going to go, this is just a poor model blade. Their other stuff may be fine, but this one is poor. If you have in your mind from talking to guys that these are just the best things since sliced bread, you're going to go into it. You're going to go through the test and go, well, the testing must have been messed up. Or you're going to start making excuses. Or you did something wrong. This ain't right. I'm still waiting for those comments on that video. Man, Diablo's the best. Like it could be beat by Craftsman. I'm surprised too, but yet it happened. And the testing was matched perfectly. So that's my advice and closing section for today, I guess. I'm going to let you guys know. Just take it from zero. Don't let everybody else tell you what to think about something. Figure it out for yourself. That doesn't mean you reject all advice, but that means that in the end, you must decide for yourself which thing is good, which thing is bad, what's the right way to do something, what's the right way to live your life. All that stuff has to be decided. It all goes back to you. I see so often that people shirk their responsibility and don't take responsibility for everything. If you start from zero and decide for yourself, that's a decision you can take responsibility for. There'll be no excuses. You won't have any opportunity for excuse because there won't be anything. How should I say this? There won't be any way to give an excuse if there's no one to push it off onto. It wasn't anyone else's fault because you decided for yourself. And that's a decision you can be proud of. And whenever you make the wrong one, learn how to take it. Learn how to own up to it. It's the best thing. It's called being a man. Be a man. All right? That's what you got to be. Be a man. Don't buy Diablo. No, just kidding. The Diablo saw blades I used in a previous test were awesome. So you never know. You just got to take them as they come. You got to test. You got to analyze. And you got to figure it out. Guys, my name is Zach Ciota. This is the HVAC Shop Talk podcast / live stream / whatever you want to call it. I really appreciate all you guys just stepping in, watching the show, listening to it later. If you need to contact me, you can do so at hvacshoptalk@gmail.com. Also, for those of you on YouTube, those of you who are members, thank you for supporting the show. You can support the show if you want by going into the chat. You see the little dollar symbol like people super chat with. You can become a member there or go to the channel screen and click join and help support the show. I really appreciate that. If you want to check out some of my power tool stuff, that's Zach's Tool Shop. You should be able to find that on the YouTube. Just analyzed a couple sets of Sawzall blades. Just went over some brushless circular saws. So a lot of fun stuff happening over there if you like power tools, which I do. Guys, take it easy, work safe, and I'll see you on the next one.